Hello friends, welcome to my Scratch tutorial. I hope you have been watching my tutorial series and learning a lot about Scratch. In this tutorial, we are going to learn about the different block categories. This tutorial is going to be split into parts to make it easier for you to learn. If you have any doubt or want me to cover a specific topic, please leave it in the comment section below. Also, I put a lot of effort into these videos. So please subscribe and like. It really helps me out a lot. Okay, now back to the tutorial. In this tutorial, I will teach you about the different block categories in Scratch. There are 9 main categories, 11 extension categories, and 3 Raspberry Pi categories which are exclusive to the Raspberry Pi version of Scratch. That's a total of 23 categories. Before we get into this, let's first look at the sprite area. The sprite name is not important as you cannot rename it using a block. However, the remaining 5 sections are very important. They are the X position, Y position, visibility, size and direction. These are all important as they can be changed with blocks. Let's now look at the first category, motion. This allows you to change the X position, Y position and the direction of a sprite. The default X and Y positions are 0, 0. X0, Y0. Change X, change Y, set X and set Y are the most important blocks of this category as they can change the X and Y positions of the sprites. Change X and change Y increase the X or Y positions by the specific amount given. If the specific amount is negative, then they will decrease the values by the specific amount. Set X and Y do not increase or decrease the values of the coordinates here. Instead, just directly set the value of the coordinate. As you can see, when I click change X by 10, it was 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. But if I click set X, it always stays at 10, as that is what is given. Using set X, you can replicate the change X block by using the plus operator block, which we have not done yet. Just put the X position over here inside the plus block, and then over here you set the value here 10. This still works like the change block, but it is not recommended as the change block always exists. The set X, the go-to XY block is like a mix between set X and set Y. So instead of running these two blocks at once, instead you can just run this one. Now there is no version like this for the change X and change Y blocks, but that like what I had over here, this water round thing. You can just use the same thing over here for both X and Y, like that. And then instead of X position for the second one, you use Y position. As you can see, it is basically the same thing. It also works with the negative values. Go-to block is it moves the sprite to a random position, or if you pick the mouse pointer option, it will follow your mouse pointer. Right now it doesn't do anything, but if I go over here, can't really see it do anything until you put it in a forever loop, and you see now it can follow your mouse pointer. And something you can do as well is you can check if the mouse is going to be if the mouse is touching the mouse point or it's touching the sprite, and then the mouse is down, which means it's clicked, and go to the mouse pointer, which offers a very interesting way to drag, but it's not like perfect, as you can see it, which is a little bit. However, you don't really need to worry about this like drag workarounds, as you have the drag mode blotch, which allows you to drag it like this, or even in the full straight mode it can allow you to drag, or even on the project section it can allow you to drag. Okay, so now these blocks and the sensing and operators, we can cover them in the next part, which we are going to cover these two categories. If we have multiple sprites, go to mouse pointer will also have a like sprite option thing over here. It will go to the next sprite. Line blocks are just like the go-to blocks, but they instead of moving like instantaneously like this go-to blocks, instead move in a uniform line throughout a period of time. And then same thing for this one, which moves it to the last episode. That didn't work properly, but anyways, now rotation of the sprite. The default direction of the sprite is 90 degrees, and when the direction reaches 180 degrees or more than 180 degrees, it flips around like 180, and then it goes to minus 179. This makes dealing with this a lot easier, as the age demographic for this ages 8 to 16, which are the types of students which know a little bit about basic angles, right angles, straight angles, obtuse angles, but they do not know a lot about reflex angles, which are angles between 180 degrees and 360 degrees, which is just 0. Anyways, 90 degrees is the default direction right here. The blocks which behave similarly to change X and change Y are turn left and turn right. These two. And then set X and set Y. It is like the pointing direction block. Now, turn right 15 degrees increases the direction and rotates the sprite clockwise. 89. Opposite happens with the turn left 15 degrees, which decreases the direction and rotates the sprite the other way. Now, point in direction just changes the direction to what's given over here. For example, point in direction, say 135 degrees, there it is. 443 degrees, there it is. 121, nice. 353, that's minus 7. Okay, now we have point towards mouse pointer, which, as you can see, will just turn to look to your mouse pointer like when it's not there. Like you can see this example right here, just looking at my mouse pointer. It's upside down, still looking at mouse pointer. As you can see, it does not move at any position, at any point. Unlike this, go to a mouse pointer blot over here. Now point towards, which will point always towards the basketball. If you move the basketball, you can see changes. It all depends on the position of the basketball. Now we have that. Moves 10 steps. This is probably one of the most basic plots in stats, but I did not start with it because it's an interesting one. You're probably here thinking that this blot is exactly the same as change x by, which just moves this sprite horizontally by the number of steps. But no, it all comes. The reason I'm talking about it now in the rotation section is that when we change the direction to say 45 degrees, it will actually move the sprite in a 45-degree angle. And you can see it moves the sprite 7.5 steps per 10 steps given here in both the directions. That's 3/4 of the way. To change rotation styles, you can use just these icons, or you can use the rotation style blot. Set rotation style left, right, don't rotate, and all around. As you can see, the sprite is rotating around. And this is the default rotation style all around. And there's also this one right here which just flips around when the direction is negative. Within this first half, the direction is within the first half of this wheel. Then the sprite will just flip around. The do not rotate is pretty self-explanatory. As you can see, the sprite does not rotate. You need this rotation style over here. That's because of the move 10 steps right here. If I do this, it doesn't look the same, but it will go like that. It's going diagonal. So that is the use right here. Now we have this blot as well. As you can see right now, I'm running this demo thing, which you can see the scratch cat like go back and forth. This is a demo of the if on edge bounce blot, where if the cat is on the edge of the stage, top, down, left or right, it will bounce back the other way by switching its direction to the negative. But just set your rotation style to left, right for the most optimal experience on this. Because that will happen. Sooner or later that will happen. Change x by 10 here is not multi-directional. You have to use move 10 steps in order to do this properly. And now we all have these 3 reporter blots right here. Now reporter blots we have learned in the last video. They can just be used in inputs like this right here, which is our next blot. Use inputs like this or this. And there are 3 of them. X position. This is 65.31. That's our X position right now. So is it in the decimals as well? As you can see, if I click the checkbox right here, you can see its position is here. This is 28.30846, or just 28.31. Y position right now is this 46.7, matches up with this 47. And click here, it's this Z position. No, Y position 46.76 matches up. The direction over here is negative 168.47.46. Okay.